This is really beautiful.
Yeah.
Very well preserved.
Oh, look, he's wearing a little kilt. And he's got a little fat tummy, which is kind of nice. And he's got the water jars. One is here, and the other one's here. And they're actually pouring water. They're pouring libations, offerings to the god. Let's clean them off a little bit better there.
In this extreme climate, it's no surprise to find depictions of water offerings in the temple.
Water is life. In the heat, particularly in the summer here, when it can be 50 degrees Celsius, water is an absolutely welcome offering.
Along with the water-bearing god Happy, the sandstone column is inscribed with the Nubians' mysterious text.
The seated man, this is the letter A, and he's got his head here, he's got an arm down, an arm upraised, and he's sort of crouching. And we know he sounds like ah. Unfortunately, while we know he starts a lot of words, and we know what he sounds like, we have no idea what these words mean.
The Nubians devised their new alphabet around 200 BC, when the kingdom was based in the city of Meroe. As part of a cultural renaissance, the Meroites, as they are known, replaced Egyptian hieroglyphs with their own written language. Until it is deciphered, scholars can only read what other cultures of the time wrote about the kingdom.
We do have some records about the Meroitic kingdom from outside sources. There's Greek historians who have written about the kingdom of Meroe, and they had contact with the Roman Empire and, of course, Egypt. But we don't have the Meroites' point of view. If you can read the script, it's the actual people that are talking to you. They're talking to you about themselves. What we really need to find is something akin to the Rosetta Stone that was found in Egypt that helped to decipher the Egyptian hieroglyphs. We need a bilingual text.
The ancient city at Dangale is a likely candidate for having a Rosetta Stone. Its position on the Nile just south of an area of rapids called the Fifth Cataract ensured a strategic position at the hub of major trade routes to the African interior.
The Fifth Cataract is rocky and you can't sail through there. The rocks are so sharp they'll cut the bottom out of your boat. You have to actually leave the water, go by land, and then rejoin the Nile. And you rejoin the Nile in the area of Dangale.
Throughout its history, the Nubian kingdom lured traders from afar who coveted goods like ivory, animal skins, and, of course, gold. People of many different cultures and languages, Greeks, Egyptians, and Romans, all traded with Nubia. Many would have passed through Dangale and may have left a bilingual inscription. But for now, the only avenue to the Nubians' past lies underground.
Here, you have to dig, you have to be dirty, you have to bring things out of the sand, to study them, to draw them, and to make your analysis out of that.
The North African weather doesn't always cooperate. 3 weeks into the dig, a swirling cloud on the horizon means a tough job is about to get a lot tougher.
The wind lifts the dust and it starts to swirl it up in this kind of a storm. You can't see anything on the horizons here at all. We're only here for 2 months of the year, or 2.5 months, and you have to make use of every second of the day. Weather conditions be damned.
Though it's rough on the team, the storm brings one blessing, relief from the burning rays of the sun. In the cooler temperatures, workmen make swift progress clearing the temple. The following morning, skies are clear, and with the calm after the storm comes their first clue to the origins of the ancient city.
That's great. Salah.
Yes. A cartouche.
Only royalty was allowed the privilege of encircling their name with the symbolic oval shape called a cartouche. The form of a rope tied together at the end was thought to protect the imperial name from harm.
And that's what we have here. We have the bottom of the oval, and this is one of the letters. Of course, the king's name has many letters, so we just have one tiny clue here.
If we found the name of the king in the sanctuary, that means this is the man who built the temple.
This is a very, very important piece. Now we need to try and find the rest of the name, and hopefully it'll be here somewhere, because this piece obviously came off of something.
Though Julie and Salah don't know exactly who built the Amun temple at Dangail, they suspect it dates back some 2,000 years to the Meroitic period. This was Nubia's golden age, when the great kings ruled from Meroe and were buried in the royal cemetery in tombs with a familiar form. Influenced by their proximity to Egypt, the Nubians admired the massive tombs at Giza and began burying their royalty in pyramids of their own. They adapted the shape, favoring a much steeper-sided pyramid. Adjoining offering chapels were richly carved with scenes representing the comfortable afterlife of the king, attended by his many servants. Not only kings are buried in the pyramids of Meroe. After the 3rd century BC, a series of strong queens occupied the throne and may have been co-regents. One of the most powerful ruled near the time of Christ, just before the temple of Dangail was probably constructed.
Amani Shaketa is a really powerful Nubian queen. She's carrying bows and arrows. These are traditionally the accoutrements of a man. She's got prisoners tied up. There's a good possibility that she actually fought off the Romans.
In 23 BC, Roman soldiers attacked the Nubian kingdom. According to their accounts, the Nubian resistance was led by a valiant woman, blind in one eye, who scholars believe may be Amani Shaketo. The queen successfully stopped the Romans from overtaking her kingdom, and even brokered a favorable peace treaty. Though faint, traces of Amani Shaketo's imposing figure can still be seen on the walls of her offering chapel.
She's a larger woman, so it shows how powerful she is. It's also part of the Meroitic impression of beauty. She's well-fed. She's wearing a lot of bracelets on her arms, rings on her fingers. She would have been covered in gold. She